Hello, Dr. Highfish again. I'm doing part 2 of this Amalgamate Q&A sketch chat video because the first one was an hour already. So if you're here, yay! That means you enjoyed the first video. And I didn't bore you all to death with my horrible rambling. And I was able to keep things interesting, which I'm never sure if I'm able to do that. My speaking skills and my writing skills are not the same thing. Woo. Oh boy. Yeah, I still have a few questions left here that I wanted to get to. So I don't want to waste y'all's time, so let's just get right into it. What is the next question? How many do I have left here? Let's see. 6 questions? 7? 6. Well, I think some of these will go pretty quick. Okay. Next question. Do you deal with any bad writers / art block? What helps you get out of that? Yeah, so that's a good question. So, you know, I definitely like deal with writers and art block, you know, the way that anyone would. I wonder if there's anyone out there who like genuinely doesn't. Like, that person has superpowers. But I have been doing this for a while. I'm like a career artist, and I've been working in comics for a while, which is a world where deadlines can be real fast and real scary, for both art and writing. In fact, that is part of the reason chapter 20 has been taking so long. I won't get into it, but I had a comic project that ate the last few months of my life way more than it should have, and not in a good way. Yeah, so yeah, I won't get into that, but yeah, I have had to learn, though, because of things like that, how to just power through any block that happens. So I think like the best advice I can give is when writers or art block strikes, don't let it like sit and fester. Like it can be easy to like just get like frustrated and either give up on something or, you know, walk away entirely. And I don't think that that's super helpful, at least not for me. It hasn't been. I would say instead, just like write or draw anything. Sorry for those noises. I think one of my roommates is feeding the cats. It's like 5 o'clock over here, which means the cats are probably like screaming and begging for food. But yeah, yeah, I think it's best to just do like something, anything, because, you know, worst case scenario, you know, you don't like what you just wrote or drew, but that's okay. Like, you can just, you know, delete it, erase it, whatever it, and start over. No harm, no foul, because best case scenario, you actually do like it, or you like some aspect of it that you can now incorporate into what you do next. Or worst case scenario, you don't like it, but you've at least ruled something out. You know, you might be like, well, I had an idea, it didn't go the way I thought it would, but now I know that, you know, and I can try something else. So yeah, definitely, like, I think it's good to just kind of like go for it when you're stuck and just see what happens. But also, it can also be good to like ask for help or like look at other things that inspire you. Because like, for example, like with this illustration. Like, I actually wasn't sure what I wanted to draw for the sketch chat video. So, you know, I went to the Amalgamate server and I was like, okay, do y'all want cute, sad, or neutral? Because I was just stuck. I had been sitting there pondering this for 20 minutes, which is just wasting time. So yeah, I asked and it seemed like people wanted cute, so I was like, perfect. And then I can kind of get started from there. And I mean, I suppose in the same vein, like the thing that made me start drawing this was I was thinking back on some other cute, like Kaito Kokichi sleeping fan art that I'd seen, and I was like, oh, you know, I really want to do something like that. So it's like that, remembering that stuff, looking at other art I liked kind of like unstuck me. So yeah, when you get hit with that kind of block, just try to find any way you can to like keep going, because I'm sure, especially when it comes to writing, I think a lot of us know, like, if you lose that momentum too much too long, it can be real hard to ever get it back. It's probably why there's a lot of abandoned fanfics out there, and I get it. I totally get how that happens. But yeah, I hope that's good advice. I don't know. Let's see. Next question. What are your top 3 Danganronpa ships? Well, so I am kind of a weird person. I guess I don't know how like normal or not normal this is, but I don't really like ever think about ships. I don't know, is that weird? It's like never on my mind at all. Like when I find like new characters I like and stuff, like my brain doesn't start like shipping them or thinking about it. Like I don't know, it's very strange. But you know, I'm still like, it's that's not to say that I'm like against them or like don't ever think about it. It's just, yeah, not something I dwell on much. But I guess if I had to pick 3, I mean, I think that this one would be obvious, but like obviously, like I'm here for Amota. Like, you know, I mean, even if Amalgamate is like considered basically platonic, it's not as if I'm like someone who has never enjoyed Amota content. In fact, I know there's like that upcoming Amota zine, or well, I don't want to say upcoming, because I think right now they're doing that thing where like they're like in interest check, is that what it's called? Interest check, where like they're kind of like sending out surveys and stuff to see, like, you know, if people are interested in the zine and like what about the zine they might want to see, things like that. And I definitely like filled some of that out, and like kind of like I don't know, I guess I don't know, it was me kind of wanting to be like, hey, can I like maybe be a part of this? Like I'll make something for the zine if you give me a chance. So yeah, I'm totally cool with Amota. Some of my favorite fics have been Amota fics. It's just that, yeah, I made a decision though about Amalgamate that it was not going to be officially, it would only be like spiritually Amota, but not like technically. It's something that Amota fans will enjoy, is the best way I can put it. So yeah, I do like that ship. Probably my second favorite ship, I hope this isn't like some like basic vanilla nonsense here, but I love Gundam and Sonya together. I really do. I think that they are so flippin' cute. I love that like contrast of like the like, how do I describe this, like the preppy girl who has the secret dark side and the goth boy who has the secret soft side, and they like complement each other. I think what I like about it is, and I think this is also true of why I enjoy Omota, is I really like it. I like ships where you feel like the two people in the relationship, they understand each other in a way no one else does. You know, like their relationship only makes sense to them. I don't know if I'm wording that very well, but yeah, that kind of thing. I dig it. And I think that's why like another ship that I enjoy, for example, would be like Mando and Taka. I think it's like that same kind of thing where it's like you just know like everyone else around them is like, what? You know, but like it makes sense to them. I don't know. I find stuff like that very cute. And not even just cute, but also just interesting. I think it makes for interesting dynamics, interesting content. Because those are the kinds of relationships where like the couple has to like, not has to, but like they can learn a lot about themselves through the other, you know, that kind of thing. Yeah, I really enjoy that kind of thing. So I hope that's a sufficient answer coming from someone who's not much of a shipper. Let's see, next one. I feel this will actually cover some of the same bases, but besides characters in Amalgamate, who are some of your other Danganronpa faves? This one's hard because like I like a lot of characters actually, but I think at the risk of sounding super redundant here, I do love Gundam. I'm like a massive Gundam stan. I like to joke that he's like, you know, if like Kokichi's like my number one best boy, like Gundam is like my number two best boy. I think he is absolutely great. He's so fun in like that just weird, dark, kooky way. I would love to do a Gundam cosplay sometime. I don't know when I could make it happen because I've got a bunch of others that I'm working on, but like someday. I don't know. I think he would be just an absolute blast. And then again, at the risk of sounding totally redundant here, I do love Sonya. Yes, we exist. Sonya fans are out there. We are real and we exist. That being said, I think I have like kind of more specifically personal reasons for it. So I actually lived in Japan for several years. And I gotta tell you, Sonya is like every like Western girl that I knew or was friends with in Japan, and I say that lovingly. Like I adore Sonya because those were people I knew in IRL that I also adored. She she reminds me so much of like, I was big in like I'm totally dating myself here. Like, yes, I'm an ancient fossil. I am an old, decrepit, elderly woman, but I was big in the VK scene at the time, because Visual K was huge in Japan at the time, and Sonya reminds me so much of like the like American, Canadian, European, like that, just the Western like bangyaru, like the like band girls. Where like I swear like you would see these girls like they'd show up to the concerts in like the cutest like fruits baskets, Lolita dresses, like pink and frills and like flowers, and just so cute. Meanwhile, the band they were there to see is like screamo death metal, and these girls are like moshing. Like, I don't know, Sonya to me is like just an absolute delight. I get why people find her boring, but just as somebody who has known like genuine IRL Sonyas, I think she is so much fun. I really love her. But yeah, just I don't know. There's so many Danganronpa characters I love. I always have like a hard time like narrowing it down. I do think a lot of them are in Amalgamate, which also makes this question tricky. But I'm a big Mew fan. You know, I've got a Mew cosplay. I love going to. I really want to do a VRAU after Amalgamate, in part because like then I can have access to some of these characters again. Yeah. Big Taka fan. I love Toko. Komaru. Oh, that's a ship I should have mentioned. Komaru and Toko and UDG. So cute. But anyway, but yeah, I will move on to the next question before I say anything stupid. This is kind of a fun one. Was Okosan always a planned part of the series, or did he come as a surprise? So, this is actually an interesting one because the answer is yes and no simultaneously. Because the origin behind why Okosan is even here at all is this is gonna sound real stupid, but something that super bothered me in V3, and I think this just was because I watched way too many Let's Plays when I was like researching for the fic and stuff. You know, you start to like notice things that like get in your head that you wouldn't notice if you weren't watching too much. It drove me nuts that we never find out what happened to Himiko's doves. Like, here we are, like, introduced to an ultimate lab with, like, live animals in it. And then the academy explodes at the end. And I'm like, were the birds okay? Like, what happened? I wanted to believe that, like, you know, in canon, they, like, just, they flew free to safety and they were totally fine at the end there. But yeah, it was like something that had like really been bothering me. So I was like really determined to like cover that in the fic in some way. Like, I wouldn't say that my plan was to make the doves like an integral part of the story. But I was determined to make sure that before the fic ended, like, we were gonna find out what happened to those doves, even if it just meant like having like a weird spare scene where like Himiko's like, wait, I have to go back to my lab and release the live animals before anything bad happens. So yeah, the inclusion of the doves was always planned, but having Oko-san specifically be this big, important game changer of a character, I think that kind of happened on accident. It was sort of like when, you know, there's that scene in, oh God, was it chapter 9, I think? Where, like, yeah, they just got the motive, and Kokichi is, for various reasons, some of which we know at the time, some of which we find out later, appears to be extremely depressed. And so, you know, Himiko, I really wanted a scene where, like, she cheers him up. Like, I always liked the idea of, like, her being somebody who, like, you know, she seems very depressed, but, like, magic is, like, something she can use to make people happy. Because, like, and that's not me, like, reading into her character. Like, I think that is part of her character. Like, she's, you know, we saw that in chapter 2 in canon. Like, she wants her magic to make people happy, even when she's not happy. And so, yeah, like, the idea just came to me of, like, wouldn't it be funny if, like, Himiko introduced a dove into this scene? Like, and I think probably because, like, the kidnapped eggs thing had already come up a few times. Oh, sorry about the weird cut there. I had to do something really quick. But anyways, yeah, all the doves are named after doves and birds and pigeons from Hatoful Boyfriend. I don't know how many of you know that game, but it is a very strange video game where you date birds, and I know that sounds terrible. It's not what you think, though. Just trust me, play the game. It's amazing. It is so not what you're going to be expecting. But yeah, I named all of the birds, the doves from Himiko's lab after specifically characters from Hatoful Boyfriend, with Oko-san being the one who is the pudding god. I won't get into it too much, but Tsumugi actually even catches that and makes a reference to it in chapter 9. And that's why, like, Kokichi's like cracking up, because like he seems to also know the reference, and he's just very delighted that Himiko named her doves after Hatoful Boyfriend birds. But anyway, yeah, I just sorry, I think before I cut the video there for a moment, I was just saying, like, I don't know how many people know this, but I think as far as I know, doves and pigeons are actually the same thing. I've seen some confusion about that. Doves are just white pigeons. That, like, literally that's it. Yeah, I don't know. There could be some technicalities there, but as far as I know, there there's no difference. Literally, just a dove is just a white pigeon in English. I imagine other languages probably don't bother with that. But anyway, yeah. So that is the answer to that question. We have 2 more. I want to hurry it up because I think my phone is probably running out of storage. How did you manage to actually make Maki evolve into a better person? So here's the thing with Maki. You know, some might disagree with me, but I don't personally feel that I changed anything about her as a person in Amalgamate. I say that positively. I'm saying that, like, I think she was someone who always had this potential in canon to become a better person, and I felt that the problem was that the game didn't give her enough of a chance to do that after Trial 5. I think it gave her some. Like, obviously she did do, you know, some good stuff. She did some redeeming in Chapter 6, but she, I just think especially, like, when it comes to, like, her and Kokichi, and even a bit with, you know, kind of how things ended with Kaito, I think that she really needed a more of a chance to truly blossom into this really genuinely dope person she could turn into, the freaking MVP. And so I really do think that it's not that I wrote her any differently than she already was. It's simply that in the plot I gave her this opportunity finally to fix some things. You know, she gets to actively make up for what she did to Kokichi by helping him now and saving him. She's almost ironically, like, using her assassin skills to help him and to save him. You know, things like the way she got him to drink the antidote and stuff, like, only an assassin could do that. And I just really liked the idea of, like, her being able to start using these skills that are seen as a negative, things she probably hates about herself, as ways to actually help now instead of hurt, even when sometimes there is still some hurting. Chapter 13. But yeah, I really think she just needed that chance, and I was able to give that to her. But yeah, we have one last question here, and this one I think is something that I can speak on partially for now, and then hopefully more later. What's the outlook on printing physical copies of Amalgamate? Now, I gotta tread lightly here. You know, this is always a touchy area, touchy subject. I don't want to get in trouble. So I'm gonna try to, like, word this as well as I can. Would a thing like this be outside the realm of possibility? Nope, not at all. In fact, it's a thing I have thought about quite a lot. Is it a thing that could be done? Well, so if we're talking technically, yeah, because this is honestly my actual area of expertise. Yeah, I work in comics, and I do a lot of self-publishing, so printing books, distributing books, this is a thing I do quite a lot. In fact, I just went through a huge Kickstarter campaign. Part of the reason I'm doing this video is because I finally have some free time after shipping like 130 comics within a week. That was exhausting. So yeah, that is a field where I would already know who to reach out to, how to make, put together, how to ship all the things, raise the funds. So yeah, I do think I am possibly uniquely qualified to make such a thing happen. The issue, of course, is just, you know, the copyright issues and things like that. So it's not a thing I can openly discuss on AO3. I want to throw that out there because if you basically say anything on AO3 that implies that money could be made off of anything you're working on, they can just pull the whole fic. So that's not a thing I want to have happen. So if it ever comes up on AO3, I will probably be like speaking in code. There is an Amalgamate Tumblr now. Please go look for it. The official Amalgamate Tumblr. I think that is a place I could probably a little more safely talk about this in the future. But yeah, it is a thing I would like to look into. If I can make it happen, I would really love to do that. I just can't make any promises yet. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. I want to, and I can. Will I legally be able to find a way to make this happen? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, I'll just throw that out there. But anyway, that is actually the last of the questions. So I think I will call it for now. And yeah, either I'll continue this drawing on my own and then just share the finished results later, or maybe like after chapter 20 comes out, I could like just do a general, like not a Q&A, but just a general chat where I like maybe finish this and like maybe color it and stuff. We'll see. I'll play it by ear. But yeah, I don't want to bore y'all with too much more, so I will call it for now. But thank you all so much for joining. I hope that you enjoyed this Q&A sketch chat, and I will try to do it again soon and not wait a whole year to make it happen. So thanks everyone. Bye.